I've recently found out about an interesting game called Escape Simulator. Escape rooms are a group activity where a bunch of people are locked in a room filled with puzzles. They have to solve them in order to find the exit. I have never been in one before, but it always seemed like a fun concept. This is also why I found the idea of such a game intriguing. Escape Simulator supports all ultra-wide resolutions natively, both 21:9 and 32:9 will work without issues. Now let's talk about the game itself. It generally follows the basic escape room rules. You and your friends have to solve puzzles in order to be allowed to leave it. The first thing that struck me was that the rooms are quite tiny. This surprised me a lot since it just feels like it's a very strange restriction. I was only playing with my wife, so 2 people already feel like too many in such a cramped space. Luckily there's no collision between the characters, so you can easily go through each other. The game would support up to 4 players, which in my opinion is way too many considering the size of the playing field. Not only because the rooms are tiny, but also because the players do not share an inventory. Fortunately, there's a trash can where you can deposit things and pick them back up again. This helps since you can use it in order to clear the ground from all the distracting things, which are not really relevant to the puzzles. And speaking of such things, since the game has a physics engine, you can move things around and even throw items. This means that if you find a vase, it's sensible to break it and check if there is anything else inside. The problem with this is that there are multiple breakable objects and they break into a bunch of small pieces. As a consequence of this, if you want to actually be able to see if there was anything valuable inside, you have to pick up all the rubble because any of these things that break apart could actually be the valuable part. The game teaches you early on that you may find items all over the place and you are encouraged to look for hiding spots. This is yet another reason for you to break and move everything possible. And if someone does find something, they will pick it up and keep it for later. This works well if the whole team always focuses on a single puzzle. But my wife and I like to divide and conquer. The game provides you with 15 minutes to clear a room if you want to receive an achievement, and therefore encourages splitting the tasks. The problem is that it simultaneously makes things harder by not giving you a real shared inventory. Oftentimes you'll find something and keep it for later without realizing that your teammate has another item which you need to combine with yours in order to solve a puzzle. While I understand that this can be solved with greater communication, the puzzles demand that the people solving them have time to think and work things out. The constant comments about items found can both be counterproductive and a distraction. And speaking of puzzles, the game has a bunch of them and they are usually logical enough that it's fun to solve them. However, a few felt very cryptic and completely convoluted. The game does have a hint system, but it's very primitive. You can press a button and receive a drawing which is supposed to help you out a bit. The first problem with it is the fact that this system does not track your progress. You will often press it, get a hint for a puzzle, and it will turn out that this puzzle is something you've already solved. The button works with a timer, meaning that once pressed, it has a cooldown before you can press it again. It's incredibly frustrating to press it, get a hint for a past puzzle, wait for the cooldown to pass, then press it again and get another hint for a puzzle that you've passed. In a game which rewards you for completing a room quickly, this should be done better. In addition to that, some of the hints are absolutely useless. I once got a hint which basically told me to look at the puzzle and think about it. That was it. Now on to the graphics. Escape Simulator has a cartoony look which is not inherently bad. In my opinion, this makes the game more accessible since those graphics will even look decent after you have lowered your settings, thus allowing players with weaker systems access to the title. It is, however, also a missed opportunity. A more realistic approach would have allowed for horror-based rooms, perhaps a dungeon with bloody torture devices, or a room which kills you in some way after some time and you have to try to escape before that happens. While these things could be made with the current graphics as well, they will never have the proper impact when it all looks like a cartoon, at least not for me. The game's music is annoying and loud. After an hour, I couldn't help but turn it off. This isn't a deal breaker by far, but it had to be mentioned. The game has around 15 rooms and a special mode which lets you make your own or play community rooms. This means that there will be lots of content for people who enjoy this game. My personal advice is to play it in short bursts. My wife and I limited ourselves to 2, maximum 3 rooms per sitting. The reason for this is mainly my puzzle fatigue. After solving puzzles for too long, I get exhausted mentally and need to switch to something more reactive, otherwise boredom sets in. This is not a primary game for me, not something I will sit down and play start to finish. Instead, it's more of a party game to enjoy in short bursts and it works very well as such. Once you have established a system with your playing partner, the flow of the game changes, you are both more organized, and solving the puzzles as an effective team just feels really good. Naturally, you could play the game alone as well, but honestly, I wouldn't recommend it. More than half of the fun involves working together and figuring things out as a team. At the end of the day, this is a budget title and a lot could have been done better. Larger rooms will definitely complicate everything, but the experience would be superior and more than 2 players would make more sense in such a scenario. The hint system is also crying for some improvements. It's not a perfect game by far, but for less than €14 it doesn't have to be. I can recommend it as a nice party game. Couples will definitely have fun with it. When it comes to parents with children, despite the cartoony look, your children will sadly be way too young for such puzzles. Even the simpler ones would probably be too much. So I can't recommend it for parents who wish to bond with their kids over a game. This is where I thank you, my dear viewers, for watching Game Filter. I'd love to see you on the next one, and until then, have a great day. This is Nino signing off. So to everyone who's still here, I just wanted to say that I want to apologize for the fact that there haven't been videos for over 2 weeks. The reason for that is actually that I got a surgery on my nose. No, it doesn't look better than before. It was so that I can breathe better. But you can probably hear it because the initial recording I did before the surgery and now I'm talking somewhat afterwards. I'm feeling better already, so that's great. I'm gonna try to keep up with my videos. But the second reason why I'm telling you this is because one of my newer viewers asked me to add a picture of his cat in the video, and since I love pets, I figured that's kind of a cool thing. So if anyone's got a pet they want in my videos, you can send it to me on the email and I'll be happy to publish it with your pet somewhere in it. So yeah, that's a short explanation about why these videos have been coming so late and also what the thing is with the cat. Again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.